Hello there, welcome to The Window. My name is Amy and today we are doing a massive book haul. So I haven't done a book haul since August and that is more than 3 months. So that's a pretty long time, and at the time I was on a book buying ban. I was under the rule read 5 before you buy. And as you'll see from this haul, that didn't last long. And most of them I didn't pay for myself or they were relatively cheap, so I don't feel too bad. I've been to a lot of exciting events, so I'm really excited to show you guys what I've gotten. I can't exactly remember the order I got these books in because it has been a while, so what I've done is I've just categorized them into the places that I got them, and hopefully that will give some sense of order to this haul. I believe I have 19 books to show you and some other bookish things, so let's just get into it because it's going to take a while. This first book I got at a local charity shop and it was only a couple of dollars, and that was Mao's Last Dancer by Cunxin. This is about a boy who was taken from his family at quite a young age in China to go and learn to become a really good dancer. It's just an amazing story. I've seen the movie and I loved it, and I've heard the book is just as good. The next few books are ones that I got from my uni shop. There's quite a few of them, but I had a voucher and that's what I spent my voucher on. I don't feel particularly bad. I always bought them as rewards for like getting an assignment done and things like that. The first one is one you've already seen, and that is the Bane Chronicles, and you would have seen this in my December TBR. This is the sort of short stories that Magnus writes for Alec about his life before he met Alec and during his relationship with Alec as a companion to both the Mortal Instruments and the Infernal Devices. Next is Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy. This is about a woman who has an affair with a younger man set in Russia, and I just love Russia. 1,000 Pieces of You has done this to me. It's Claudia Gray's fault, and I saw the movie and I really enjoyed it. It was such a beautiful movie, and I'm hoping to get to the book at some point in my life. Next we have Clockwork Princess, which is the last book in the Infernal Devices trilogy by Cassandra Clare. Because this is the last book, I'm not going to tell you what it's about, but basically the Infernal Devices is a prequel trilogy to the Mortal Instruments about a girl called Tessa who moves to England. She's American and becomes involved with the London Institute. Next is one that you would have seen me gush about in my spring wrap up, and there will be a full review up sometime in the next couple of weeks, and that is 10,000 Skies Above You by Claudia Gray. I love this book, already read it, lots of tabs, I absolutely love it. Go get it. Go get it. Go get it like I did. And last from my uni shop is a beautiful, stunning book, and that is The Marvels by Brian Selznick. Brian Selznick has this really interesting way of writing stories in which half of the book is illustrations, just pure illustrations, and the other half is the written word, and they sort of meld together to form one story, even though they tend to be from different time periods. I loved the previous one he did, which I can't remember the name of. I absolutely loved it. I read it when I was about 16. Wonderstruck, that's what it's called. It's written on the dust jacket. So they were all the books that I got from my uni shop, but I did also buy a book from my local bookstore, and that was Queen of Shadows by Sarah J. Maas, which is the 4th book in the Throne of Glass series. Now, when I bought this, and to this day I'm still not up to date with the Throne of Glass series. If you're not aware, the Throne of Glass series is about an assassin called Selena Saradossian who is in prison but then relieved from prison by the prince to fight in this tournament to become the king's assassin. Very interesting. I've read the first one and I absolutely loved it, so hopefully I will eventually finish this series. Next are 2 books that I got from giveaways. The first one is Twilight, the 10th anniversary edition by Stephanie Meyer / Life and Death. Now, if you weren't aware, Stephanie Meyer released Life and Death, which is a gender-bent version of Twilight written by herself on the opposite side of the 10th anniversary edition, and I won this from Dimix. And secondly, from Allen and Unwingteen, I won Green Valentine by Lili Wilkinson. I'm not entirely sure what this book is about, but I believe it is a romantic comedy about 2 teenagers who are very opposite, but somehow, through circumstances, are inclined towards each other. That was a really bad description, but it's the best I got. Okay, so next are 3 books that I got from meetups. The first 2 were gotten at the Sydney Dorks meetup hosted by Kasia from Books K and Sibylla from One More Chapter, and I bought Persuasion and Mansfield Park by Jane Austen in these beautiful vintage classic editions. They're sort of watercoloured and they're just absolutely beautiful, and I love them and I want to collect all of them. and I'm about halfway there. So I'm not going to tell you what Jane Austen's books are about because you probably already know. If not, I've left the links to Goodreads down in the description box so you can go have a look. And at the bookshop hopping post Book Expo Australia, I got Emma by Jane Austen in the same Vintage Classics edition, and it's just so pretty. So we're into the most exciting part of my haul, which is what I got at #BTCYA Sydney, which is Between the Covers YA event, which is HarperCollins young adult event. I got some really exciting things and I cannot wait to show you. Okay, so firstly, when I went in, there was these things sitting on our seats, which was really nice and I wasn't actually expecting. The first thing that I noticed was a poster of 10,000 Skies Above You by Claudia Gray. It's a very big poster. Eventually it will go on my wall, but I wanted to haul it first. And I love my Firebird trilogy, so this is probably one of my favourite things I got at the event. There was also a Between the Covers little sort of catalogue of sorts with all of their YA books, which is incredibly tempting because I want all of them. Sorry about that interruption, my best friend just came and yeah. So, what was I doing? Oh yeah, I was telling you guys about, where is it? Oh, okay, so I was showing you what I got at the Between the Covers event, and the first thing that I noticed on the chair was this beautiful, really good quality tote bag. So in the bag was 2 books. The first book that was in the bag was Demon Road by Derek Landy. This is the same author as Skullduggery Peasant, and I believe that this is about a demon girl running away from her demon parents who tried to eat her, which is an interesting premise. The second book that was in my bag was Lady Helen and the Dark Days Club by Alison Goodman, and it was an arc. I've actually got no idea what this book is about. They described it to me and it sounded really interesting, and I'm actually very excited to read it. They've just released the cover and I'm really excited for this book, but I don't know what it's about. The last things that were in the bag were these little pins. One is a Demon Road one and 2 are from a colouring book, and I actually don't remember whether these were in this bag or another bag, which I'll show you in a second, but can you see them? Oh, guess not then. At the end, once the presentation was done, my friend Alison from Read Around the Rosie on Tumblr was kind enough to go up and get me a copy of the other arc that were in the bags, which was Passenger by Alexandra Bracken. I feel like I'm in prison and I have the only packet of cigarettes because these, that's a really weird analogy, but you know how like they trade in cigarettes? Yeah. Passenger is probably the most sought after arc at the moment, and in Australia at least they were exclusive to the BTCYA events, and I'm very excited to have one, and I'm very thankful to Alison for going and getting one for me because there were a lot of spare bags and she just rummaged through them until she found one for me. I don't know if you guys know, but I live tweeted the BTCYA Sydney event, so if you missed it you can go look through my Twitter feed and catch up on what happened. But I was lucky enough to be chosen for like a little Twitter prize for tweeting a lot, and I got this bag full of goodies. The first thing I noticed in the bag was something that I was very excited to have, and that was a Bookworm Boutique mug. It says, "I'd rather be reading, which is the truth for me in most situations," and I've already used this mug. You might have seen it in the background of my last video, and I'm very pleased to have it. Next there was this little Be Creative poster from one of their adult colouring in books. The first thing I saw in the bag was something I was really excited for, and that was Nimona by Noelle Stevenson. This is a graphic novel I've been wanting for so long, and finally I have it. It was wearing me down. I was about to buy it, and then I got it for free, so I'm really grateful for that. The next book that I saw was Magonia by Maria Defana Hidley. Sorry if I mangled that last name. Again, not entirely sure what this book is about, but I've heard a lot of mixed things, but I'm still excited to read it. And the last book is another arc, and that is Blue Screen by Dan Wells, and again, not sure what this book is about. And the last thing that was in the bag was this beautiful necklace of the cover of 10,000 Skies Above You by Claudia Gray, which you guys know I love that book so much. And so to get this is really exciting, and I think it's beautiful. I mean, look at it, I feel so regal. But I also got 2 more of them in the bag. So I have 2 of these, and if you stay tuned, I will be doing a giveaway in the next couple of weeks. If you want to get your hands on something similar to this, you can go to www.belleregalia.etsy.com, and I'll leave the link in the description box, as well as the link to all of these books that I've mentioned, to Between the Covers and to Bookworm Boutique. And I almost forgot to show you Disruption by Jessica Shervington. This is a book that I bought at the BTC YA event, and that was because Alison from Read Around the Rosie and Beck from the Book Drunkard / Book Hangover convinced me that I had to have this book. So I believe this is about a society where everyone wears these devices, and when you come into contact with other people, it gives you a rating as to how compatible you are for like a friendship or something like that. And if you get a certain number of negative ratings, you are sent to jail because they believe you will be a criminal because you're not, you know, acceptable within society. And this girl's father is sent to prison because he's had too many negative ratings, and she is trying to save him. So I hope you enjoyed that pretty massive book haul. I am not going to try and hold all of these books because that would be impossible, and I would probably hurt myself or someone else. So don't forget to subscribe if you liked this video. I hope you're having a lovely day and happy reading. Bye!
You have a great way with the camera. You really do.
Thank you.
You're amazing.
Maybe I'll leave this in.
Yeah.
Just stroke my ego a bit.